is your understanding? So when you listen to the podcast on White's Traditions, you heard me talking to Hilda about what the Bates method was. So you had an idea of what the Bates method was before you took classes. Has your understanding, now that you've done classes and that you've had some kind of change in your vision, has it changed what you understand the Bates method to be?
Yeah, I didn't understand how really everything comes to relaxation. And so that I was like, okay, so you're supposed to like do this thing and like somehow that's gonna, and just doing the thing is not what what does it, And so that's something that's really I've come to understand better. And so it really makes sense to me. I know I mentioned in one of the classes, it just, it makes so much sense to me overall, because I do tend to be a more anxious, a more keyed up, high strung kind of person, especially as I mentioned in class, compared to my husband who has great eyesight and is much more relaxed about everything. And so learning that these Bates techniques are about relaxation, really helped me understand sort of the issues with my vision and other ways that I can help too. And I've become much more aware of the tension in my eyes and how even not even trying to look at something, but even certain thoughts or types of thoughts or
Right.
situations cause tension in my eyes. And I had never paid attention to that feeling before. And it's
Yeah.
made me a lot more aware of that. And it's very interesting. It's become an easy way for me to tell if something is bothering me or if I'm uncomfortable with something, or because I can feel it and I notice it in my eyes now. It's very interesting.
So you feel the eye strain depending on what thoughts you're having.
Yeah, I can definitely feel a relationship because I've been working on it a lot more for the past year, but I've had a lot of insomnia in my life that I've dealt with as well, and anxiety and things like that. And I've realized that all of these things really tie in together
Yeah.
for me. And so I've realized that things that I do in the evening, I have sort of an elaborate evening ritual, I guess, to help me actually get to sleep, which these things work. And I've noticed that my eyes are a lot, I don't have the tension in my eyes and stuff during that time. And
Good for
so it's
you.
pretty cool that I can feel that. And I did not realize, just based on things that I had read prior to class, then how important the relaxation was to the whole method.
So there'll be some people, this video is going to go up on YouTube. What would you tell somebody who's thinking about doing this? Whether you would recommend it, and just kind of what to expect?
So I really like the group classes because it's great to be around other people who are also working on the same thing, and you can watch and see, like you were saying, you saw me getting all emotional, and I've seen other people in the classes, when you've had people like looking at something up close and like seeing the sort of tension and drawing back in their face and watching them become more relaxed. And it's really cool to see other people experiencing that,
Yeah.
and it helps you relax too. Absolutely. Emotions are contagious, I guess. They're catching, and you can
Oh, yeah.
see when other people are calm and calming down and it's working for them. And to hear what sort of tricks other people have been doing as well is really, really neat. And so I really appreciate the group classes that have that opportunity. And like I said earlier, the chance to really sit down and make that time, because I believe that for the most part, we do have time for the things that we prioritize, but it can be difficult to make ourselves prioritize things,
Yeah.
especially things that are long-term tasks that don't necessarily have an immediate haha, like you were saying, it does take time. And so being in the classes really helps, because at first I was like, well, I'm going to read this Bates book and I'm going to figure this out. And I tried reading the book and I was like, what?
Me too.
Like, I'm going to get this on Kindle and I'm going to do it. Maybe I'm not.
Yeah.
So I definitely think it is absolutely worth it, and worth it to give it several tries. Don't just try it once and say, oh, I didn't experience anything. And one other sort of thing, it sounds weird, but I absolutely believe in the power of your mind, and in the power of sort of, I guess, called the nocebo effect. And so if you're thinking about doing it, I wouldn't necessarily discuss it with people that you believe are going to be unsupportive.
Oh,
Because if people don't believe in it and they're going to be unsupportive, they're going to tell you, well, that's silly. That's not going to work. That's a waste of your time. But if you have someone that you can discuss it with, that you know is going to be supportive, or at least open-minded. I'm very fortunate that my husband is a very supportive person. And so I told him, like, hey, I know this sounds kind of wacky, but like, I'm really interested in trying. And he's like, go for it. Go for it. Give it a try. Do it. Keep trying. Like, and so I think it's really important to maintain that sort of mental attitude, and to only talk to people that you are at least going to get a neutral response from, not a negative response from, because there are a lot of people who do have vision problems. And I think the problem has been getting worse. And so a lot of people, whatever thing it is, not just related to vision, will tell you, oh, well, that sounds silly, that's not going to work, whatever. And if you allow that to be what's in your mind, then it's probably not going to work from you, because you're going to be thinking about, oh, this isn't going to work, this isn't going to work. But if you
yeah,
figure out how it is going to work, and it's going to work, and you've talked to people who it has worked for, then you're in that frame of mind. And people have even performed placebo surgeries that worked now. And I'm not saying that it's all placebo effect, but your mind is incredibly, incredibly powerful. And
yeah,
so I guess one thing I'd say, if anyone's considering it, is to make sure to talk to people who are going to be supportive, and not people who are going to be unsupportive, if that makes sense.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because yeah, as you're going, I have had people taking classes with me, and their vision was getting better. And then family members, even though their vision was getting better and they could demonstrate to family members that their vision was getting better, the family members would say, no, this isn't something that works. This is, you're believing something that isn't true. And then the person got influenced by their family members to stop taking classes, even though their vision was getting better. So that's a good point. Um, yeah. So we're at the end of November here. You're going to continue taking classes and keep on working at it and
Yeah,
everything.
absolutely. I really want to keep going, and I want to improve my vision more. And I also, for me, one of the other big catalysts, besides just being tired of the contacts, is from reading about how the increase in people needing vision correction, and reading about, Bates sort of like, you can basically kind of like inherit this, do you catch it from people? And it made me think about how I grew up with people that were always just like staring, like, especially when tired. My dad would just like
Yeah.
stare, at things. And my husband has great vision, and I want that for my daughter. And I really believe that if my daughter sees me modeling better vision habits, then that's what she's going to have a better chance of learning than if she sees me continuing to model poor vision habits.
Yeah.
And so that's something else that's really important to me with it, is wanting to set an example for my daughter, and help her have
Yeah.
good vision too.
That's good that you brought that up. That's an article that Dr. Bates wrote, how imperfect sight contagious is the title of that article. And where he writes how there's nothing as contagious as nervousness. So it's the mental state of being anxious and everything, and how that affects what we're doing mechanically with our vision and everything. And how he writes about how he also had thought and had been trained through medical school that imperfect sight was inherited. So it was a genetic thing. And how he discovered that kids whose eyesight he tested, that were in a classroom where the teacher wore glasses, their vision got worse through the school year. Whereas if the children were in a classroom where the teacher's eyesight was normal, their vision could actually improve through the school year. Yeah, yeah. And so that kids whose parents wear glasses who are wearing corrective lenses, they're actually picking up unconscious habits. Well, we pick up so many habits from our parents, and our accent, if we're speaking in a Boston accent or Texas drawl or whatever it would be. But that we pick up visual habits. So that's a really, really good thing. When I let parents know about that, when they want me to work with their children or something, I tell them, well, how's your eyesight? Because
Yeah.
you're going to contribute to this whole thing. So yeah, that's good that you told us. That's a really, really good motivation for people, for their kids too. Yeah, to help their kids. Okay. Anything else that you want to add?
No, I think I've talked enough here. So.
I'm very, very glad. I had mentioned to you that when we were going to do this, that people benefit in the same way that you mentioned how you benefit from being in the group class and seeing what's going on with other people. There's going to be people who are going to get to watch this video here of you and learn from your experience. And so thank you very, very much. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people out there who are going to be thankful for you sharing your experience and how you're going. Maybe we can get back on here in 3 months, 6 months or something.
I'd love that.
Yeah, so you could tell people, hey, guess what?
How I can meet all everything, that'd be awesome.
That you're out past 18 inches now. Yeah, whatever it would be. That now you're not seeing water towers as helicopters.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you then, Natasha, and we'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.